Good afternoon, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, and it's time for the hurricane video discussion for Hurricane and Hurricane HD. Happy Father's Day. This is for June 17th, 2012. In the Atlantic Basin, one area to watch, a non-tropical area of low pressure in and around Bermuda, which is right there. It is still attached to a front, so it's non-tropical in nature, sort of a hybrid mix of a continental storm like you would see up here, a mid-latitude system, but it's sitting over relatively warm water, so it's sort of a blend between a tropical storm and a mid-latitude land-based cyclone. Therefore, it's non-tropical. It didn't get its origins over tropical waters, and furthermore, it is heading off towards the north generally, and that means that even if it were to develop, it would move on out into the North Atlantic and not bother anybody. But if you're on Bermuda today, it's kind of a breezy, stormy day there. The rest of the Atlantic Basin, pretty quiet. Note out here a pretty good tropical wave. You can tell just the curvature of the clouds out here, a little bit of a low pressure area. Starting to see these a little bit more robust as we get towards the end of June. And through the month of July, we'll start watching these tropical waves, these easterly waves of low pressure in the atmosphere that come across in the trade winds. Instead of everything just blowing straight across, you have these sort of kinks in the trade winds, these weak areas of low pressure that sometimes form into tropical storms and hurricanes. A little closer look at the non-tropical low near Bermuda, and you can tell really not very well organized. It doesn't look like a tropical system, and it does have that comma shape to it, which is a sure sign that it's non-tropical in nature. Pretty good north wind still coming down across the eastern Carolinas, providing a very nice Father's Day weekend along a good deal of the east coast of the U.S. A broader view of the Atlantic Basin, lots of showers and thunderstorms through this region as the MJO pulse works its way through, providing much more favorable conditions overall, more moisture. The upper levels getting more supportive for development, but it's still June, and climatology argues against development in this region overall. I mean, it's not going to be prolific. It is hurricane season, so you can get development in June, certainly. And we're going to be watching this area of the Gulf of Mexico over the coming week for the chance of a weak tropical system to develop, which may affect Texas, Mexico, possibly Louisiana towards the end of next week. I'll talk more about that tomorrow. I wanted to show you this really neat graphic from the University of Wisconsin. This is the total precipitable water animation over the last several days, and it shows you these tropical waves here. You can see one there, another one there, one in here, and then maybe another one in here. Watch what happens when you loop it again. You'll also see right there is Carlotta. All of these orange colors through here indicate very high amounts of precipitable water in the atmosphere. So all of this is very high moisture content air. This is much drier, absolutely. Very, very dry air over the subtropics, as you would expect. But this is going to be a really neat feature as we get into August, especially because we'll be able to track these tropical waves as they roll off of Africa and move westward with at least a chance to develop. Again, you can see one here, there's another one here, and then perhaps one sitting in here. So just wanted to introduce you to this graphic. We'll look at it a lot more over the coming weeks and months. Out in the western Pacific, I wanted to show you this Super Typhoon. I do not know how to pronounce it properly, probably. I'm assuming it's something like Guchol or Guchol, and it is a powerful 130 knot, I believe, Super Typhoon, 150 miles per hour. You can really see well-established outflow to it as the wind in the upper levels gets fanned out very efficiently. You see that warm spot there. This is an infrared satellite picture. The warm spot is the eye. Very warm air in the eye. The air is sinking in the eye, and it's warming up as it does so, like compression in a bicycle pump. A powerful typhoon. Its track, this is a global shot here, will take it up into southwest Japan, and then finally on out into the far reaches of the northwest Pacific. So folks over in Japan need to be getting ready they're pretty battle-hardened against these forces of nature, as you well know. But a typhoon, and especially a super typhoon, is nothing to mess with. It will weaken due to the interaction of a trough that's going to dig in and kick this thing on out to the northeast. It'll weaken because of that shearing on it and the cooler water that exists up here. This too, even though it's a super typhoon at a fairly low latitude here, it's still only June and the water temperatures are still warming out in this region just as they are in the western hemisphere. So something to watch. That'll make news headlines, I'm sure, in the week ahead. Again, I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. That's my website. Always glad to provide these video blogs to you on Hurricane and Hurricane HD, and I'll be back with another one as we start the week tomorrow.